Hi, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher. I'm still a little froggy, so if I sound a little funny, I'm still trying to get over whatever it is the cold or what. And sorry I took as long as I have. The holidays have been busy, and I'm a little still under the weather, but I'm getting there. I'm getting better. I want to do some clarifications for those who may have marked up the sandpiper's head. I should have followed up with measuring the other side, but I tried to leave it up to you, and I'm finding out that maybe it's a little tougher than we think, because you want to get the eyes in the same plane or line, and it doesn't come out that way, and I'm going to try to show you how to correct that so that we could get things the way it should be, and the eyes will line up from one side to the other the same distance. Okay, so I apologize for not following up with the other side, but I figured if you duplicate what's on one side to the other. But on some of you, if you took it verbatim and you tried to measure it that way, you have to realize that the center line of the head is where everything's sort of coming off of. And it isn't like we looked in the profile in one view and it measures a certain distance in, but on the other side, it may not be that way, okay? It's from the center line over. And I'll show you. I'll try to explain this. And before we get further into developing where the eyes should be and we put them in and so on, I want to at least make some corrections so that your eyes are lined up on both sides in the same place that they should be. And I didn't clarify well. So I'm going to, before we get too far afield, I want to make sure that you have everything correct, and I'll show you how to make I'll say corrections that I didn't clarify. Okay, so if you'll bear with me, I'm going to bring the camera down, and then we'll go over what I'm going to try to explain it. So bear with me here. If there's a little confusion, get back to me, okay, and I'll try to do it again, but if necessary, or you could write to me and I'll try to explain it, or however you want to get a hold of me, okay? So the other thing I wanted to say too, I wished everybody great holidays. I hope everything's going well with everybody else. It's been busy here, and I've been surviving it with whatever I got. So I'm going to try to take you on here. The other thing too is, if you have an opportunity and you like what you're seeing, if you would give me a thumbs up, and if you would subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that too. If you have a friend or somebody that may be interested as well, if you could pass my information on, that helps too. It helps me grow my channel and so on. So I'm in the process of that. And if you ever need anything of any of the things I'm doing, I have kits for the sandpiper, but I have it for a lot of other birds, a lot of other projects. And if you need any of those, or if you need just feed or eyes or a blank or a pattern, you can get them individually. And I have the equipment I sell as well, and bits. And you could get them through my email address. I'll send a catalog out to you, and it has these products listed in there. Now, if there's things you're looking for that may not be in the catalog, contact me anyway, because I have a lot of stuff. I didn't list everything in the catalog, so I try to give you a ballpark of what I carry, but there are other things out there, and if I can help you out on that, and if I don't carry it, I'll try to show you where you can get it as well. So, okay. So, again, if you need to get a hold of me, my email address is Rauscher, Frank, Frank, 7 at gmail.com. Okay, and I can electronically send you the catalogs right out to you, and then you can, we can discuss what you may need or what you don't need, because you don't need everything, and we tend to collect a lot of things. So if it's helpful to you and you need something, hey, definitely contact me. And my catalog is my telephone number. You can get it that way, and you can discuss it with me, or you can do it by email, or however you want to do it, okay? So we're going to follow up on the sandpiper, so bear with me, and I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see it. Okay, here we go again. I'm going to sort of go over a couple things that I gave you before with measurements, and I used metric, which is your each one of these little lines on the metric side here is a millimeter, and from 1 to 2 is a whole centimeter, and there's 10 of them that make up a centimeter. So I'm going to talk like in locating the eye. This is like the most important thing. We measured everything almost as if like we're looking straight down on here from the pattern, and that's fine. Now, when you go to transfer over, you have to be able to line this eye up with this eye, and if you in measuring it, you would really have to come from this direction and not like a lay down. We sort of almost did like a lay down in a sense, or maybe I didn't clarify it. It's like this. If you're measuring in from the end here of the beak and you lay the ruler down, see, it's like you have a flat surface, you think, and everything's running along that beak line, which is true, but we were saying like to the eye, and I'm going to use the eyes, we have 10, 20, 30, 40 to the center line of the eye, okay? That's fine this way. Now, if you draw that perpendicular line off the beak line here, which is the one we used, and we come up, then you come across. To get to that, to make sure you're right there, you have to hold the beak, the bird up like this, and you're looking down from the tip of the beak down. You can't lay it down. You got to sort of hold it up and look down on it. And you have to get this on the end, and then make sure that this, excuse me, this line coming across is perpendicular to the center line. And then you got to watch that you drop that down all in the same plane. It goes from here straight up, over, and down. And it gets a little tricky. And the other way you can sort of check to make sure that this is right is if you can't lay this down like this. This is what I call lay down dimension, where you're, if I measured from the beak up to what would be like the center line of the eye, it would come out to about maybe 44 millimeters, okay? And that's like a lay down, but in essence, what you're doing is you're trying to hold the ruler out so it's parallel to the center line, which is kind of tricky. And when you do that, if you measure from the tip back and you're parallel to the center line, which is, I know I'm asking a lot here, you'll end up with I think, I hope we are, we're ending up with 40 millimeters, and it's tricky, okay? So this is the thing that gets a little confusing. Your eye, when you're looking down from the top, is here, and it has to be straight across from the other one. And I know from from teaching before, the tendency is not to get everything parallel or in line with the center line to measure in 40 millimeters, okay? And that's what it is from the tip of the beak to the center of the eye. And if you don't have this set up right, your eye could be a little forward or a little back, depending on how you measured it. And this perpendicular line that comes across the top of the head, notice I have this bird sitting up, okay? You could tilt it this way, you could tilt it that way, you can get a lot of different things, but what you really need is from the tip of the beak in, looking straight down on each other, you need to get 40 millimeters from here to here, and you can't lay it down, because if you lay it down, I'm going to come up with different numbers, and your eye's going to move. So I'm trying to do every which way a check to make sure that this eye is matched up with that. And material-wise, we still have a lot to take out yet. So I just want to make sure that you get this eye in the right position. I don't know if I'm making this clear enough, but the idea is if I can project out from this tip of the beak and measure back, if I put my ruler right where the center line of the eye is back, I should have 40 millimeters from here back to here, okay? Straight back. So you got to make sure that that's right. Once that's right, then you could build the cheek off, get everything with the beak right and the whole bit, and at least we can have a semblance of this being the same as this over here, okay? And as we spoke before, the center line, the beak line, which is here, is 6 millimeters up, and that's where the eye falls in, okay? And then if we drew a perpendicular line going through that vertical beak line, and we come back, we have 14 millimeters, which is from here to here, and we draw another perpendicular line down through the beak line, and it goes down 6 millimeters from the beak line down. That takes us to here, and then what we did is we came around, made this a tangent point, bring that around, and before you can get to the eye center line, this line coming through vertically here, this spins up and joins up with the beak, and we do the same thing here. This came out of here, turned, and then it starts rising up. So you're going to have a spacing between this bottom line, and as this thing spins up, you're coming right into that joint, okay? So I want to make sure that everything is properly lined up. You don't have one eye forward and one eye back. Usually this side here, we act as if like everything's in the same plane or flat, and it's not, because you could see we have a roll in here and so on. But we have to adjust to make sure that this is lined up with this. Once we do that and we have the eye established, then we can establish the cheek, and then we'll build everything from this. So I just wanted to clarify that before we start in and start shaping everything here, especially the eye. The eye, we want to be in the right spot, okay? So if you look down from the top, and I don't know how much I'm getting this on camera here, where I put like a pencil mark on the eye here. Let's see if I could do this. I need an extra pair of hands. If I put a pencil there and a pencil here, and I'm looking down from the top, these two should be in line with each other, okay? And it's the same distance from the beak back to this pencil point, okay? So that is imperative that we get it that way. And before we go on anything else, I don't want to find out that your eye location's probably good here, but it's off over here. We want to make sure. I remember I was judging some competitions in the bird category, and I remember somebody did a beautiful bird, and it just so happened that when I was reaching over to check another bird, to pick it up to look at it, I happened to look down on the one that we had already sort of made our minds up that it was pretty good, that the eye was out of place. This side and this side didn't match. One was further back or forward than the other one, and this could disqualify you from moving on in your competition. You know, if you were in a competitive point of view, if you wanted to go competitive, if you're doing it on yourself, a little bit this way or that way, nobody's going to notice, but you can get this further back if you don't do it correctly. And like I said, you have to look down from the top and make sure that they're perfectly across from each other. And that sets up the premise for everything else, to get the cheek in and coming back. And even measuring from here to here isn't too bad, because it's sort of in and almost true. You can almost lay this down and get your 30 millimeters and put a dot on the beak line that we had established coming through here too, and be pretty close. But it's the eye that can really get off, and we can make adjustments as we're shaping the beak to get this right as well. So, but definitely wanted to spend just a little more time to make sure that I showed you how to do this and then left you hanging on this side. So this is important. This is very important. So we're now going to go on, and I'll show you how to shape all this, and we'll continue on.